Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture what we will do is that we will learn how to accept a message from the user and later display the same message on the Android activity. So in the previous lecture what we did is that we basically had this text view, and when you click this button the text on the text view actually changed. Now in this lecture what we will do is that we will have some input field over here in which the user could type in his message, and once the user types in his message he simply needs to click this button right here, and when the user clicks this particular button what is going to happen is that the text view of this particular text field is going to change. So without wasting any time, let's now learn how to do that. So the first thing which you need to do is that you need to add the edit text, which is basically a text field, to the layout of your Android application. So you simply switch to the design view, and if you have a look over here, as you could see, there is a special section for the text fields over here, which is also called as edit text. Now for the plain text, you simply need to select this, drag this thing up and drop it over here. So I'm going to simply do that. So I'm going to drop it right over here. And if you switch to the code view, as you could see, now the edit text has been added to the code as well. Now what you could do is that you could delete the name of this particular edit text, and instead of name you could use a property which is called as hint. So you could type in Android hint, and you could type in something like, let's say, enter message here, so that the user is basically able to get a hint that he has to enter the message over here. So once this thing is done, the next most important thing which you need to do is that you do need to have an ID to this particular edit text. So we actually need to reference this edit text in the Java code, because we will be actually extracting the text from this edit text. So what we will do here is that we will change its ID to, let's say, user message. And once we are done with this, what we will do is that we will switch to the main activity, and we will first of all delete this code. So this line of code actually gives us access to the text view, and now we also need an access to the edit text as well. So we are going to type similar kind of code. So we type edit text, let's name this thing as edit text as well. We type this equals to, and then typecast it to edit text, and then again use the find view by ID method so as to basically find the edit text by its ID. So we type find view by ID r.id dot, and the ID of that particular edit text is user message. So you simply select that particular ID, and we are basically good to go. Now once we have the reference to that particular edit text, the next thing which we need to do is that we actually need to get the text from that particular edit text. So we actually need to have a string variable in place to get that particular message. So we could type in string, and that should be in capitals. So string message equals, then we type in edit text, and to get the message from the edit text we type in get text. So we have the access to the text over here, and now once we have an access to the text, you do need to convert that particular message into a string, and for the same reason we use the toString method. So we type dot toString, and what that is going to do is that it's going to convert the message into a string value, which is going to be stored in the message string variable. So once we have the message with us, the next thing which we need to do is that we need to assign that message to the text view right here. So for that we type in text view dot set text, and in here what you could do is that you could simply pass in the message over here. So once we are done with this, we are pretty much good to go. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to simply save the code, and I'm going to run this application on my device rather than using the emulator. So here is my device. I'm going to select my device and hit OK, and I'm actually going to record the device screen and show you guys how this thing actually works. So as you could see, the application is up and running on my device, and I could enter the message here like my name is Ashutosh. And when I hit this button, as you could see, the text of the text view just changed to that particular message. And let's say you enter a new message like let's say this is a message, and when you hit this button, as you could see, now the text views text actually changed to "this is a message." So we are successful in running the application on our device, and if we were successfully able to get this message entered by the user, and on the button click display that message onto the text view right here. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys were able to understand how to get an input from the user in Android and how to basically display that input as a text view. So that's it for this lecture, and in the next lecture what we will do is that we will try to build a BMI calculator application in Android, and it's actually going to be a simple project, and it's going to be our very first project in this course, and that is going to be a fun project. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Thank you.